Welcome to our webinar session called LS Nav Web POS. My name is Matthiasson. I'm a product director at, for LS Nav. And with me presenting is Aslaug Gudjonsdottir, a product specialist for LS Nav. Let's go over some practical things about the webinar. Please ask questions by typing them into the questions window that you can find on the control panel on the GoToWebinar session. We will have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar when I will answer your questions. And of course, not just me, also Aslaug and either our POS specialist. Please note also that the session is being recorded and you will receive a link to the session in a few days later. Let's get to the stuff. Let's look at some history. LS Retail was created of two companies, Landsteiner and Stringer. And both of these companies were in the Navision space, having their own POS. Here in the top window, top POS window, you can see the Landsteiner Retail POS, or also called Plus POS. They had something new technology at that time, add-in, that created the POS, the buttons. That gave them the ability to have any kind of color on the POS, on the buttons as they wanted, which was very high tech at that time. Then you have the InfoStore POS below, and you can see that the InfoStore guys were more creative with the colors, but you could also have any kind of color on the buttons on the InfoStore POS, except if you want a new color, you had to choose one of the other 5 colors you want to substitute for. So you could, of course, have any color you wanted, but at the total 5 colors at the same time. And these were some of the challenges we had in the early days of our POS going forward, and that, of course, was built on forms. Then Microsoft came out with Pages, and we had new opportunities. In this case, we had ability to have one big add-in where we could lay over it a .NET shell, which gave us ultimate flexibility to create the behavior and experience for the user we are building on today. Step after that was introducing an app, a mobile POS, as an app running on iOS or Android. This gives us the ability to take the POS out on the floor with the customer, where the decisions are made, supporting even finish a transaction with a EFT cradle or a companion device. This POS was offline, had an offline item master, but still, when it needed to calculate the price for the product or specific price for the member, it needed to contact NAV for the basket calculation. So it's ultra mobile, but not having full calculation capabilities, but a breakthrough at that time. Let's look at what we're really going to be talking about today. Our LS Nav Web POS. Here we have our new generation of the POS, and what we are doing here, it is utilizing new technology regarding internet communication and all that, but we're building on the old established business logic that's inside the NAV. So let's look at the building blocks. What are the building blocks of the solution? Everything needs data, right? We have the SQL with the data, of course. That needs to be somewhere. Then we have something called the service tier, and this is where the business logic is, where all the thinking and all the processing and all the decisions are made. When you look at the old Windows POS running on a Windows client from Microsoft Dynamics NAV, we have this look we talked about. But this client was, you could say, a fat client, or needed a lot of chattering, a lot of data going back and forth. So this was a very well performed POS on a local area network, meaning within the store to a store server all by itself. It did not fit the new requirements that the market today wants. Wanting the POS is to communicate over a wide area network. So we started looking at that, and what we created is a web POS, and what the web POS uses is IaaS, which is Internet Information Server for Microsoft, which most web environments or solutions are running on, some kind of a information server. So we're doing that. So when you are on the POS, you have a browser, and when you look at the browser, you can run the application inside of that because it's just an HTML application inside the browser. You could have the browser just running like any kind of browser, looking at the paper in the morning. You could run a POS in there. However, you could also have an opportunity to take the browser and a component that you put into an app, so it could look and feel like an app even though it's a browser app. So we have a lot of opportunities here, and this is very good for wide area network. So now we have a solution that could service us with online in a store all the way to the cloud, wherever that cloud server is in the world. You might think, you know, web POS, that means only working against the internet somewhere in the cloud, no one knows where. That's true, it is, but it's not just that. We still support the traditional architectures that the Windows POS we know and we're used today. So we have still the standalone POS, and this is the POS, the configuration that is most popular with our customers today, where you have a device that is running everything. It's not depending on anything outside the PC you're working with. It's running the Windows operating system, SQL, service tier, IaaS, and the browser on the same device. The same building blocks I showed you just the last slide. That means that you can have 100% service at all time. And this is very important to business, for example, very, very high transactions, or business that in an environment that has not very much, very good communication lines. So this is still valid for you to use in the business, even though you have the web POS interface. Then we have new opportunities. We have, of course, the store server, and the store server, the new opportunities are, if you have a store server, for example, you can add tablets. So you could have an iPod out in the store with a full-blown functionality POS on it. So you could go out to the store with the tablet and do a full transaction on the floor with the same customization ability, same possibilities as your stationary POS. So that's a possibility to add additional POSes to your solution, to your store, without great investment. Let's say on the far left you have another POS. You're in an environment where you have hardware. It's older hardware, but still very usable. You want to get a couple of more years out of it. But it's not going to be running a full-blown client. So what you can do here, you could have a store server. When I say a server, I'm not meaning a high-end server. I'm talking about a pretty good PC. So it's not much more investment than that. Then on this POS that is underperforming, you can run a browser. So you can run a web browser on that device and then use the hardware station, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, So you have their underperforming device using a browser and a hardware station, and then the business logic would be running on a store server, giving you all the functionality with older hardware, even ramp up your store with some tablets and other things. So this is a great opportunity to create a multi-device environment, or use existing environment, the hardware, sorry, within the same store environment. Then we get to one that maybe in some years is going to be the standard. Everything online, to the cloud, real time. But the reality today is that not everyone has the luxury of having a 100%, 110% communication lines. But still today, people are relying on this, retailers. But what they do then is that they have a plan A, plan B, and plan C for the communication lines. And if plan A fails, plan B kicks in. So it will give them 110% uptime, but it means that you need to invest more in the communication lines than you do today. But you get, on the opposite side, you get an environment that does not have anything set up in the store, no apps in the store. So you can see you have all these architectural possibilities, and you can mix and match them. So you can have different capabilities in town, online, out in the country. You could have offline. So we offer that to you, for you to use in the best way for your environment. You might ask, how do I connect some devices like scanner, printer, customer display, drawers to a web POS, a tablet? I just have a tablet. How do I communicate to these devices? We have two flavors, two options in this, and the first one I'm talking about is the Epson Intelligent Printer. This is new technology where you have in the center of it, like in the picture, you have a printer. It's really a printer, but it's more than that. It's a control center for the other devices. So you connect the printer, the scanner to the printer, custom display also, and even a secondary printer to this device. And then the service tier or the web POS, a tablet, will send a request to the printer, and the printer, for example, will give back the input that was coming from the scanner, or print out a slip or anything like that. So this gives you the opportunity to open a store, and the POS runs on a browser. No application there. It's running online to a central database. All the business logic comes from there. And then you just have a printer with other devices connected to it. So you could live the dream and have a store without any software. So we can offer that. The second option is more of an option where you, for example, have an older device, and you could then, for example, put up a service on a Windows PC, and this service then controls the devices. So in this case, in the picture here, you have a PC with a service on it, and you connect all the devices to that. Your devices you have been using for 10 years. Devices that run on OPOS. So the tablet there communicates to the service on the Windows machine, which then collects the input from the scanner or asks you to print. So you could have one of these with devices and have 3 tablets, for example, running on top of that. So, and this is, of course, the way we would use in a lower performing POS that needs additional low performing POS using the hardware station to control the device, and then a browser then on the device. So recap, We have the hardware solution on the left, intelligent printer, and the software solution on the right is just a service on a PC that has the devices plugged into it. Now let's have some demo, and Aslaug is going to show you the web POS as a demo and show you everything and all the great things that we have there. Over to you, Aslaug.
Thank you, Matthias. Thank you. I'm going to show you the Windows POS, no, the web POS. And I'm waiting for Matthias to give me
here you go.
Presentation. Right.
Zero scan här.
So here we are. I'm going to demo for you the web POS on my machine here. And this, what you have on your screen, on my screen now, is the LS Nav Start. So here I have buttons for the Windows POS, for the web client not in full screen, and the web client in full screen, which I'm going to start now. So it's optional if you run it full screen or not. So here you have our POS from the demo data company. And first I want to show you the media panel demo. This is a panel to show you different media options. And here in the middle we have a web browser, which could be full screen as well. We can have a webcam. And now I'm going to show you downtown Reykjavik, very dark, early morning still. And on the right part here, in top right part, I'm going to show you the image playlist. And it can run automatically between images, or we can control it manually. And then in the same part we can play a video, and this video is now located in our home page here in LS Retail. So I'm going to close this media panel and I'm going to start to work on the POS. First I want to show you our Metro POS look, which you have now in front of and on the screen. And we can of course sell by selecting items from the menus buttons. We could of course use a scanner, and we can use item lookup to find items. So if I'm going to find the tie here, I'm going to select it and sell it. We can as well run use the search and find the item, and I'm going to sell the Linda bag here. And we can also put a member into the sale, and we can scan a member or do it manually as I'm doing it here now. So you can see that the member is now in the sale. So I'm going to finish the sale by paying with cash and get the change back. The next option I want to show you is our, we call it the supermarket POS, which could be ideal for grocery stores. Here you see the supermarket POS, which is different. It has a black background. We can open the panels with items. So in this case, you can have lots of items on one screen. Use the whole screen from corner to corner. I'm using now 20 buttons. You can have it up to 60 buttons, or however you want to put it. We can sell items. You can sell 3 of the muffins, and etc. At this sale, I'm not going to finish with cash. I'm going to finish it with currency and pay it with dollars. And the currency rate has exchanged the amount, and we finish the sale here. The third example I'm going to show you is what we call the fashion POS, or can be used in whatever business it fits. And you can see that on the buttons, we can have buttons here. We can go between menus. We have buttons with images. We have the button with different number of buttons. And we can change that very easily because I am a super user. I can go to menu properties, and I can change it to 2 columns from 3. close it, and you see it happens automatically. And we can also use the dynamic menus where you can have lots of buttons and go through them. Now I want to sell something. I want to sell the Linda bag, and I want to use our feature, the recommendation machine, to show you that I'm manually selecting it now. Since the Linda bag is in the sale, the machine recommends that we might also like to have these items, since that isn't what the recommendation machine recommends. If I put a member into the sale, like I did before in the other one, we can also use recommendation down to the user, depending on who is the user or who is the customer in the sale, our member Stefan Thompson. So Stefan Thompson in the sale, this is what he would like to buy depending on his history. But we can also use recommend for the item which is in the basket, and now you see that this bag Linda is a woman item, so it's now the recommendation machine recommends woman clothing. And I'm going to finish this sale, the cash. We have also, since I'm a super user, you can also use the design mode. And I right-click the mouse and I can enter the design mode. And now you see that every control in the POS panel has a red box around it. And when I go through them, you see information here. You see the POS tags that are behind, for example, this part here when we're displaying the member or the customer. And here you see the balance tag. So you see information about it. We can always go, and I'm positioning myself in the journal, and I can go and open the control properties, and then I will see the settings for the data grid, journal grid. So this is what you can do for each control on the screen. And you can, of course, as well go and look at the different color spans. You can see the other controls. You can see different options here and the profiles. So to exit the design mode, I'm going to just right click and exit design mode. I'm going to log off now. This was when we were running the POS in, not in full screen. In full screen, sorry. And I want to show you the button here, how we started it. And I was running it in a Chrome browser. We can also run it, we have tested it in Firefox and in Safari. So here you see that I'm using conneXion in my setup, and we are having these arguments, and here I'm saying I'm using it full screen and in kiosk mode. But next, what I want to do for you, I want to run the web client not in full screen to show you how it can be displayed differently. And we log in again. And I'm going to go to the fashion POS again. What the Chrome browser allows me, it allows me to show, open a simulator, which I'm going to do now. So I'm opening the Google Chrome simulator, and now you see the POS in a view. This is this view here, Nexus 5X. We can look at it how it would be in iPhone 6, then it could be displayed like this. You can do it in iPad. So we can view it differently, how it would come to help us to see the different sizes. And I've also defined the tablet, which is on size 900 times 700 pixels. And now you see that maybe the letters are a little bit big. What I can do, I'm going to avoid the sale. I can work in here. And I'm going to log off. And I'm going to log in again, and this time as user number 6, because that user has a different style profile with smaller font. So you see now that the text on the buttons fits much better, and that was just the difference, was a smaller font using a different style profile. So this is what I wanted to show you, that how our web POS works. Of course it's working like Windows POS. And also that we have, we believe that when I was showing you here the phone setup, we believe that the phones needs to have a responsive solution, meaning that the app needs to behave in a different way than the phone. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we have our web POS, LS Nav Web POS, is currently designed for 7-inch tablets and bigger. So that's what I wanted to do, show you. So I'm gonna give the presentation back to Matthias because he's gonna show you something more. Okay.
Thank you, Aslaug. Let's look a little bit to the future. What we're working on now is that we're working on new technology for the LS Nav POS interface development. And here you can see a picture of a POS done by our designers. And this is part of our design work where we go in and all that. But what we are doing here with the new interface is that we're taking, for example, that picture and creating a panel. Creating a panel out of this. And what we are doing is that we're creating panels that will support processes. So what we have had before, we have been able to create buttons, create the journal lines, create text and all that configurable all the way through. You can control it 100%. But what we're trying to do now is create panels where we would have processes within it. And these processes are going to build on HTML5 technology, giving it the look and feel. For example, this box here you see, or the panel here you see, is showing a hierarchy. The pictures before, one second. Picture before showed you the highest level in the hierarchy, like this, and then you press one of them and you go down to the next level in the hierarchy. So you're getting more processes inside of this using newest technology. And this should give you a lot of possibilities of simple processes that are out of the box, but still give you the opportunity to go in as a partner and do some customization and development. So we were very much excited about this. So if you look a little bit of what we're talking about here is, for example, you'll have a panel that will support the retail hierarchy. And retail hierarchy is a new hierarchy structure we have created here in LS Nav, where you can have multiple hierarchies in the system. They can have different depth for each branch and a lot of possibilities. But let's look at this one. This is a very simple one. It has four items from the highest hierarchy: women, men, shoes, and accessories. So in this panel, you press men's, and then it would go down to the next branch in the branches in the hierarchy and show you all the men's items categories on the hierarchy. Then you would press, for example, shirts. Now you have gone to the lowest level in that branch, the shirt branch, and you have the leaves or the items. So we'll represent the items as pictures with information, with quick buttons there. For example, to view it, to compare it, or put it in a basket. So what we're talking about, this simple process, hierarchy, showing the hierarchy going up and down, and you can see on top of here, you can see in the top left corner, we have what we call breadcrumbs, or the path it goes. So we go from home down to men, down to shirts. So I could press, for example, home, and it will jump all the way up to home. This is what we're talking about a process. And this can be used completely straight out of the box. Of course, we'll have some configurations like theme or a color set. You know, not everyone will want to have it red, so you could control some of the color palettes in there. Let's say you press one of the items, like the khaki shirt in the bottom left, or the jeans shirt, sorry, denim shirt. Then you would get up a predefined item card, and this could be another process panel coming from the detail into this, and you could show, and you see it has multiple pictures, and the pictures come below, so you can within the panel look at all the pictures. You have a quick button there, for example, shopping. You could have a compare and different things. And in this idea picture, we even have a rating that the customer have given. That's not planned for the first version, but it is coming to my belief. And then on the right, all kinds of attributes and different things in here. So this is very promising in that. And in this idea work here is that on the bottom you can see we have used the software as a service, what we provide as software as a service, LS Recommend, where we can recommend to the customer or the staff what would go well with this, either just according to the item or according to the item and the customer. Then we have another one, you could even go into a compare. And what we're talking about here really is that we're giving new panels to give new experience to the staff, and not just only the staff, because what we're going really into here, and we end up in what something is called clienteling. And the clienteling is in that way is that it's kind of like a customer and staff facing. So you could see yourself with a customer out in the store with a tablet, showing him this to assist him to buy and all that. So this is the future, and this is part of the building blocks inside of the POS. And saying it's a building block, for example, here I have taken the Metro POS we talked about and put one of these panels on top of it, so you can see the item list as bricks or as pictures, and then put on top, or it could put in between the buttons, left and right. So our design is not, this is a new interface for the whole thing. No, it is fitting within existing environment and existing, so you can still create all the flexibility with buttons and all that, but this will fit perfectly inside the existing environment. And we believe this fits very well within businesses where there's a high interaction with the customers out on the floor or at the desk, showing the customer some of the items, and this will fit in the future very well into our click and collect or customer orders, where you can sell in the store products that are not present in the store and can be delivered from a warehouse, different store picked up, and any combination of that. So we believe this is the future for us. On top of it, we'll give the partners the complete flexibility to do some customization, and with the newest technology and HTML and all that. This new functionality I'm talking about is going to be available February, March, and we're going to release it first on the Windows client, or LS Nav 2018, and then it would of course come on the web POS soon after that. If you look a little bit on our release plans, what are we doing? We're going from 2017 end of year to 2018. So 2018 is going to be available, and 2018 is a platform, the current technology we all know and love, reliable, low-risk implementations. And what we will do, we'll offer this platform for 2 years minimum, where we will offer new functionality into LS Nav 2018 until end of year 2019. Then of course we will support it for 3 more years until 2022, the same period Microsoft supports 2018. What does it mean? It means that it's a very good option to implement new implementation for customers or retailers on this platform, as we're going to support it for quite some time. Then in spring, something new comes, Tenerife, and that's LS Nav 365. That's our branding name for that. And in spring, we'll take a copy of the 2018 over to the 365, which is an environment that is developed for the cloud. So that's a cloud solution, but still it is also available on-premise. So we'll have there a solution as developed for the cloud and for the future, but still can do the same business you do today. So if you're thinking about installing LS Nav 2018, don't hesitate to implement 2018. But what I would ask you to do is not to modify the standard NAV code and the LS Nav code, but use the event technology, which gives you the ability to have your customization and new functionality separate, and using events to interact into the code to give you the same experience as you would changing the code. And what that does, it gives you the ability to easy upgrade from 2018 to 365 in the future. And using events is just good development practice going forward. So let's get back to the topic of the POS. The 2018 will support Windows POS and the web POS. So our commitment to the 2018 platform is to offer right away this clienteling pausing with the new technology on the Windows POS, because that's what we believe in currently, and then of course we will move that to the web POS, which gives you the new technology. But in the LS Nav 365, we will only have web POS, because that's our future POS, and we need the web POS for the new cloud and communication with a wide area network. And just so to be clear, 2018 and 365 will have comparable functionality, meaning that what's put as a new in 365 will also be put in 2018 all the way through. So it will be the same functionality pretty much between them. I just wanted to say also thank you for your time. Bye-bye.